Welcome to today's session on passphrases, or as it's more commonly known, passwords. So let's dive straight into it. So first thing I'm going to tell you about password security, which you should hopefully all say that's really obvious, is never give them away. And when I say never give them away, that sounds like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to tell a stranger in the bus my password. But actually, if you have a shared office, let's not have this HP password written on the wall, which I've seen numerous times. Let's not shout them across the shared office space. Post-it stickies underneath your keyboard, on your display. We've seen all these tricks in offices before. That's also giving them away to the cleaner or whoever is snooping around your office when you're not there. So please don't give them away. This also goes on to your spouse and your kids. So a lot of people will share passwords and they'll maybe use one password on everything. If a relationship with someone goes sour and they have all your passwords, really easy for them to take your online identity and commit some really good identity fraud in terms of good that it's going to be successful, or just hijack all of your accounts and you no longer have your Facebook and Twitter accounts and your LinkedIn's been hijacked, and really have a big impact not just on your personal life but also in your professional life too. So please don't give them away willy-nilly. If you're using like an Amazon account, for example, and you've got Amazon Prime and you want your partner to share it, Amazon have a built-in function called Amazon Household, which allows you to add on other accounts with separate usernames and passwords. So please have a look at things like that. So if you are sharing accounts, check if the service provider does have a built-in function for you to share. Now, on the screen, you should all see probably one of the most common passwords you'll see on the internet, password 1 with some smart substitution. So I'm going to put up two graphs, and this is some statistical analysis of around 15 million passwords which are hacked out of LinkedIn. So on the left-hand side, we have numerical values, and on the right-hand side, we have special characters. And an interesting part of kind of human psychology is that when we tell you to become more random, we actually become far more predictable. So on the left here, we have numbers, and the scenario is we've gone up to a website and we've been asked to sign up. So we typed in our email address and it says create a password. We thought, okay, random human, let's pick a word. Okay, we'll go with password. So we type it in and it says, nope, sorry human, you're going to need a number on there. You say, aha, password 1. Enter. Nope, sorry again human, you need a special character. You're going to say, right, how are we going to trick it? Password 1 and then shift 1, which will give us an exclamation mark. That's our password. And this predictability we see all over the place. So we know at symbols and A's, dollar signs and S's, O's and zeros, and the most common special characters kind of follow that pattern. We also see 2 and 3 quite common. So you go to that website a month later and it says your password is now out of date, and you go, aha, gonna fool you here, computer. Password number 2, and so on and so on and so on. 9 and 8 also quite high because the volume of people in this password dump who had born in the 1900s or the 1980s and 1990s as well. So that's why we see 8 and 9 spiking. An interesting case study we've seen here is up in Aberdeen. An oil company got a lot of their commercial research stolen from them. I was asked to go in and investigate how the hackers got in. And for the life of me, I couldn't work it out. And eventually, it looked like they'd taken a password from someone and broken in with a correct password. So I went and spoke to the person, and they said, no, it couldn't have been my password. No way it's my password. And I said, okay, it's been compromised and we've changed it. So can you tell me your password as long as you don't use it anywhere else? And they said a few swear words and some Aberdonian slang. And that wasn't at me, that was his genuine password. So he'd used some slang and some swear words in his password. And I thought, there's no way that a random list or a common list is going to have that involved in it. And what happened is the Russian cybercriminal group, who we eventually realised was behind the attack, had found some Aberdonian slang and some common swear words used in Scotland and created a custom word list to target just this Aberdonian oil company. So really, really smart, and cybercriminals are really smart and learn these things quickly. So if you're using password 1 with some letter substitution, or like your name and date of birth, or your town and your year of birth, or your car registration plate, please go away and change it. So that brings us on to what is a good strategy for passwords. What is good? So first of all, length is key. We don't want you using 15 special characters and shift, control, option, command 6 to get your Japanese emojis in there. Length is overall important. And that's down to the key space involved in breaking in. So if we have 20 characters in a password and we're having just a brute force, so we're just going for every permutation of 20 characters. It's going to take a very, very, very long time for a computer to break that, almost infinite time. Whereas if we have just the name of a city and a number, that's going to be much shorter. So to build these long and complex passwords, we recommend combining 4 or 5 words into a phrase. So you might have glass, tennis racket, strobe, and there's your password. Now, first of all, that's really easy to remember because it's just normal English words. You don't have all your crazy keyboard gymnastics. It's random and it's difficult to guess. And when I say random words, again, coming back to our becoming more predictable, let's not be having your kids, no pets, your cars, towns, stepdaughters, favourite animal, favourite TV show, favourite actor, favourite actress, favourite film. You get the gist. Please don't have any of those in there. Please just have random words. And the spacebar really is your friend here. So not every website will allow you to put the spacebar in, but everywhere else on a computer when we're typing, we use a spacebar. So when we're writing emails or documents, we put spaces in between the words. If you do that on your passwords, it makes them much, much more secure and much longer by default. And there's no extra memory involved. All you have to remember is there's a space between each word. There's no, oh, it was shift and colon and apostrophe. It really does make it easier. The big players, so Google, Facebook, Microsoft, should all allow the spacebar in the password field. Some smaller companies won't due to how they've got their password set up, so that's unfortunate. But where you can, please use spaces in between the words. That can be replaced with colons and hyphens or commas as well, through each word. So I sound pretty bonkers at the moment because I've just told you need 4 to 5 words, which is probably going to be 14 to 20 characters, and they need to be unique across all your websites. And you probably have between 200 and 400 accounts on the internet. At my last count, I have 430. So that's ridiculous. There's no way we're going to remember all of them. And yes, that is absolutely ridiculous, and I don't expect you to do that. So what we're trying to tackle here is password reuse. So password reuse is a sole biggest problem when it comes to passwords. And what it is you use a secure password on your bank and on your LinkedIn, on your Facebook, because they're really key to you. And you've bought your daughter or son a hamster, and you sign up to the local hamster shop to buy some food for it. And they've got a little website which you sign up for, and you use the same password. Now, unfortunately for your local hamster shop, it's probably going to get hacked at some point, and those passwords and email addresses are going to be put up for sale on the internet. And the hacker group's going to buy those. And then what the hacker group does is they have a little computer program which tries that email address or username and password on every single website. You name it, it'll be on their list. And the computer program goes away and just does it itself. They don't have to do it manually, bashing away at the keyboard. It's all automated. Now, if you're using that email address and password for your Facebook account, you've now just compromised that. And your LinkedIn, and your banking, and all your other websites you're using the same password on. So if you are using a single password or similar passwords across loads of websites, please, we need to stop doing that as soon as we can, because that is our biggest risk to being compromised. Now, the solution for loads of passwords that are unique and avoiding password reuse is password managers. So the National Cybersecurity Centre, which is an arm of GCHQ and our National Technical Authority, have came out and said password managers are a good thing. Effectively, these are custom-built pieces of software which generate long and secure passwords and save them for you. All you need to remember is a long and complex master password, but it's only one, and you can save all of your details in here. Now, a common opposition to this is this not putting all of your eggs in one basket? Well, yes, you are putting a lot of eggs in one basket, but it's a very strong and safe basket, and it's spent years being developed. I'm not saying go and buy a password manager from Jimmy down the road. You can go to a large company who produces some of these software and get one. The risk of your password manager being compromised as an individual is much, much, much lower than the risk of your password being stolen and then sprayed into all these different websites because you've been using the same one everywhere. So password managers are absolutely a good thing. Here are the two I recommend you go away and have a look at. Please make a decision for yourself on whether it's appropriate for you and your business. But Lastpass and 1Password, I've been users of both of them, and they come highly recommended. These are specialist companies who build password security systems. They are not random security companies having a dabble with password managers. These are really trusted brands, and I'd highly recommend you go away and look at them. Lastpass, when I was using it, was hacked, which sounds terrifying, but actually the way the system works is that all of your password vaults, as they're known, are encrypted locally. So even if they have the encrypted version, as long as you have a long and unique and secure password, those will never be breached. And as a result of that LastPass breach, no client passwords were disclosed. So, even if they are broken into, which, like I said earlier, is going to happen to a lot of companies, your passwords are still secure. Last thing I really want to cover today is this website called HavingPond. That's how you pronounce it for the non-hackers in the room. And this screenshot was taken last month. And there are about 9 billion entries in this database. So this database is maintained by a man called Troy Hunt. He's a senior security researcher based in Australia and really is held in the highest standard in the international community. He's an absolute leader in his field in security, and he creates this website. So when our website is breached or compromised, he goes away and finds all the data and indexes it for you. So, there's almost 10 billion accounts from 110,000 pastes, and there's 420 websites that have been hacked that he's aware of. And what you can do is you can just put in your email address in here and click Pond, and it'll tell you if that email address has been seen in any breaches. So here is an example of an email address from a friend of mine, and it says, oh no, this has been compromised. And it'll tell you what breaches you were compromised in. For this example, Adobe and Dropbox, but not only that, it also tells you what was compromised. So in Adobe, it was your email addresses, your password hints, passwords and usernames, and for Dropbox, it was email address and password. So now you know whatever password you're using on that website is out there for sale on the internet. Now, if you've been reusing the same password for years, this is going to be of grave concern because that password can then be used to access all of your accounts. Also, your password hints like mother maiden names, if they've been leaked, you need to be aware that that information is also out there in the public domain. Most people will be in the oh no pwned category rather than yes, you're okay, and that's absolutely fine. Please just take some action if you are reusing the same password everywhere to go and change it. Lastly, from a business standpoint, this also allows you to do domain setup. So if you own Coca-Cola.com, imagine you don't, but if you did, you can sign up so that any email address at Coca-Cola.com, you'll then get an email if that's involved in a breach. You'll then get proactive hints if any of your employees have been hacked. This is good, obviously for security, but also if some of your employee email addresses come back has been hacked in systems that aren't work use, you might see that some of your employees are using their work accounts for personal use, which again is a big no-no. So there's a few quick wins there with HavingPond. That's all for me on passwords. The reason we covered passwords today is everyone has them. Largely people are doing them wrong, and it's a difficult thing to get solid advice on. So really, in summary, please use long and unique passwords and go away and have a look at a password manager, and don't give them away. Here's some links for you to go away and have a look at. So we have onepassword.com as a password manager, lastpass.com as another one, HavingPond by Troy Hunt, and also the National Cyber Security Centre's guidance on passwords, which covers really technical in-depth stuff to some high-level hints and tips. So thanks very much for your time, everybody, and please keep safe.